Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Fulham. Now, before we get into today's episode, I've noticed that a couple of people have now started following me on Twitter, which is really cool, and if you do want to follow me on Twitter and Facebook or whatever, the links for that kind of crap are in the description. You can't see, but I'm pointing downwards, because that definitely helps with this kind of thing. What I wanted to point out, though, in case you were wondering, and you had seen this, is you'll notice on Twitter that I have a lot more followers than I do subscribers on YouTube or whatever, and I have a fair amount of likes on Facebook. The reason for this, in case you're wondering, is because this YouTube channel I set up a year ago, but I never actually put any content on it until, well, early September this year. The reason for that was that it was supposed to be a channel that I was using as part of a football blog which I was writing, which is secondyellowcard.com. You can go there, but it's all old content and there's not really a lot there, and the site needs reworking, and that's the thing I'm working on in the meantime. But my point is that I was using Twitter as a marketing tool for that site, and therefore I was engaging in discussion with lots of people, and I did a lot of tweeting during the World Cup. People generally liked what I was saying, and blah, 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 blah. Point is, I ended up with a lot of followers on Twitter, which is very useful, because obviously my videos go out straight to Twitter and Facebook and whatever like that. But that is why I have a lot more followers on Twitter. I'd like to get some of them over to be subscribers over here, but it's just one of those things. I'm not really too bothered if that happens. But feel free to follow me on Twitter. I do tweet a lot. Well, actually, I don't know. I tweet a lot when there's football on, basically. If there's something worth talking about, I'm probably tweeting about the match. Anyway, if you've been liking this series, hit a like. That'd be amazing. And let's get into today's episode. Now, where did we begin? We basically did August in the last episode, and I pointed out the ridiculously difficult September that we had coming up, with games pretty much against top sides without any stoppage. There was no break from games against the top sides. And well, we started off at home against Man United, and this one very nearly went a little bit wrong for us. Angel Di Maria put Man United in front early on, and they got off to a decent start. Thankfully, we came on leaps and bounds in the second half, and Trindade de Vilhena managed to equalise for us, and he's looking like a player. There's something about him, when he gets the ball in that midfield area, instead of having to pass it, he can dribble past people like they're not even there. I've seen him do this so many times already, and I genuinely can't wait to see what he produces for us this year, because he looks like he's just going to be amazing for us, and he'll come in very useful in the Champions League. It's a shame that we couldn't beat Man United here. I felt we were probably good value for the win, considering how we've beaten them the last couple of seasons at the Craven Cottage, and I figured we could do it again, and it's kind of dropped us off the pace in the league a little bit. But that didn't really matter, because this month is mostly about Champions League football. We played our first two games, and as you can see, this happened. This fucking happened. And, well, why wouldn't it be the highlighted game in today's episode? So I'm going to jump straight in, and I will see you guys in the highlights. Right, we're back. Right, now, obviously, Barcelona were massive favourites for this game, as you can imagine. But we managed to get a goal early on, and I don't know where it came from. It was around 7 or 8 minutes in, and we had a couple of chances there. Maybe could have put both of them away, but eventually Kostas Mitroglou, that man again, popped up with a massively important goal, and I thought, okay, well, we've got something to hang on to. We managed to hold on for quite a long time, as it was, and they were not exactly knocking down the door. They were just passing it around, not really able to break us down. They had a good chance here, but we managed to clear the ball. Byrne got his head in the way. He's been brilliant for us this year, as has Casasola. They've both been excellent. Casasola's pretty much got himself a starting position now, but with Draga now on as a substitute, ball played through to Tunnicliffe onto Mitroglou, and Mitroglou makes it 2-0 to Fulham. Pretty much wrapping up the game at this point, although it is Barcelona, so you can never be entirely sure, and that's Mitroglou's second goal of the game. This guy clearly has some European pedigree. Draga gets it out wide here, then drops it into Kacaniklic, goes back to Dan Byrne, but then Draga slowly makes his way forward before receiving the ball again here. Takes a little run inside, drops it off to Brian Tunnicliffe, who's been absolutely outstanding so far this season. Kacaniklic manages to win it in a bit of a melee, drops off to Tunnicliffe. Julsgaard then just, well, he loses the ball, unfortunately. But as this highlight seems to be absurdly long, which seems to happen from time to time, manages to win it back again. This time Kacaniklic skins past one defender, then past the second one, and what a ball in for Thomas Draga to make it 3-0. I can't believe we beat Barcelona 3-0, to be honest. I'm in shock. We did it, though, and frankly, we definitely deserved it. Yeah, we didn't have much possession, but we had 4 clear-cut chances to their 1, so 3-0 win is pretty much exactly what we deserved, and that's given us a huge boost in our chances at qualifying to the next round of this Champions League group, which would be amazing. We've beaten them now, so if we can just sneak in behind them, because it stands to reason they'll probably win every other game because they're playing Shakhtar and Celtic in all the other games, and they've got us at the new camp, and I think we could probably get battered there. But because away from home we sometimes do lack a little bit, and they are such a good side. I mean, this wasn't a weakened Barcelona side either. It was Messi and Neymar and loads of other players, some I'd never heard of, but I'm guessing there's slightly, it's a few years later now, so players are coming through the academies. Now, we then went to Arsenal in the league, away from home, and I was massively impressed that we were able to get ourselves a 0-0 draw here, because they were actually very, very good, as they often are against us. We were piss poor in this game. But injuries to Barloco, and Barloco's injury is serious. He has torn a calf muscle, I think, and is going to be out for, I think it's 3 to 4 months. Barloco is basically going to be out until after Christmas, which is not good because, as you know, Yulsgaard gets himself a bit knackered from all that running and hard work he does down that left-hand side, and we do really need someone that can play in there. Trash will have to do, but he's mostly Kieran Trippier's backup, and as you can see, Trippier picked up a knock in this game as well, which meant that in the end, I think I was playing... Oh, I can't even remember who I was playing at right back in that game when Trippier went off, because I brought on Trash, I think. No, we didn't even have Trash on the bench. I don't know what I was able to do. I think Yulsgaard was able to come on for Barloco, but I ended up putting Draga on at right back, I think, or something like that, just because it was the only option I had left. But it kept us unbeaten in the league, and that's always a good thing. We have now drawn 2 games in a row, but that meant 11 points from our first 5. It's not great. Well, I say it's not great, it's fucking amazing. But compared to the other teams in the league, it perhaps wasn't. This was the most disappointing game of the month. The home game against Man United in the League Cup, I was massively disappointed, because when you look at the stats, how did 3-0 come out of that? 20 shots, 4 on target. 13 shots, 5 on target. They scored 3 times in this game. There was just something weird. It's one of those just blippy games. We were probably the better side as well if you actually look at the stats down here as well. But Granit Xhaka, or Xhaka, if that's how his name is pronounced, just popped up with 2 edge-of-the-box finishes, and that pretty much sunk us. And then Januzaj got one on the break. They scored all 3 goals pretty much on the break. They countered the counterers, which is annoying because the board are a bit pissed that we went out in the League Cup 3rd round, but thankfully they understand that at least we went out to Man United and not, with all due respect, Wycombe Wanderers or someone of their ilk. Now, next up, we went to Anfield, and we've got a decent record at Anfield. We've actually won there in the previous 2 seasons by increasing goal margins. I think we had 4-2 and a 3-1, but this week it was 4-1. And, well, the hero of the hour for me. Obviously, things started off really well when Trindade de Vilhena, or let's just call him Tony Vilhena, put us in front, but was immediately cancelled out by Blaise Matuidi. Thing is, they'd had nothing in their game at that point, and then they really did start to come onto us. But Kaci Nikolic put us back in front before half-time, and it kind of just cooled things off, and in the second half, he was able to add 2 more goals for himself. That's got to be the first time he's ever scored a hat-trick for us, so well done to Alex Kaci Nikolic for that. You, sir, deserve it. He's been a great player for us the last couple of seasons. He really has stepped up, and that was a great performance. Another slightly disappointing one. I thought possibly we could go to Shakhtar and win a game. I thought we could go and win there. In the end, we actually... It was unlucky. We probably should have won. Ryan Tunnicliffe scored a goal, which is always fantastic to see, and he's having a brilliant season, so he bloody well deserves it. The games he played for us last year when he was filling in, he was extremely good, and I've given him a chance basically this year. Barriga's got that injury, so we're rotating Bertoli, Tunnicliffe, and Zuccolini. But Tunnicliffe scored a wonder goal here. Unfortunately, it was cancelled out by Anton Schneider soon afterwards. So, all in all, not bad going. I mean, look at our Champions League group at the moment. Let's just have a little look-see. So we're actually top of the Champions League group as things stand. Obviously, Barcelona were able to beat Celtic at the Nou Camp, which is no big surprise, but only by 2-0. So that's a little bit surprising. We're top by virtue of our goal difference, but Shakhtar are right in there, so maybe they're going to be more of a test than I thought, which could be worrying, because we could be relying on that home game against them to get something, but that means we may have to win that to get that second spot at the end, because, well, we've got Celtic away next, and then we've got Celtic at home, so we've got a couple of games against Celtic in the Champions League. I think you'll probably see all of them in the next episode. I don't know, may not do, we'll have to see. But yeah, so we're actually top of our Champions League group, at least temporarily, which is great. It's a good start. We've given ourselves a good shot at maybe getting that second spot, and unfortunately we'll end up getting someone ridiculous in the next round. But if we can beat Barcelona, who's to say we can't beat someone else that's awesome too, like Bayern Munich or so on. Premier League. As things stand at the moment, we are 3rd, but it is so massively tight in there that all the big sides are performing really well to start with. Us, Chelsea, and Arsenal are all still unbeaten in the league currently, and it is so tight in there. Man City have been romping home though. They've won a lot of games. They've won every game except that one. I don't know how they didn't win that. Look at that. Plus 17 goal difference, and Aguero has already netted 7 times for him. Coutinho's created plenty of goals for him, and Aguero is just, yeah. They're having a good season, and they need it because of how poor they were last year. Down at the bottom, Wigan, Sunderland and West Brom. So all the new boys, Wolves here, Huddersfield here, and I think it's Nottingham Forest, are all doing a reasonable job at staying in the league, which is good to see from their point of view. We haven't made any new transfers, obviously, because it's September. Or did we? Did we make one on the final day? Oh, no, I know what we did. On the final day of the season, on the final day of the transfer window, we let Emerson Hyndman go out on loan. I was thinking about using him as backup in that central midfield role, and I could probably do with that now, though. But, I mean, he's gone to Notts County, but he's only gone for 5 months, so if we do need that cover, he'll be back and we can use him, because I do think he could eventually slot into this team quite nicely. Roberts has got a couple of appearances, I think, but we'll have a look at the stats and you can find out for yourselves. Most appearances, of course, let's get rid of this one. Lovely old filter can bugger off. Right. 9 appearances are top man, and that's loads of people. Top goal scorer for us at the moment is Mitroglou with 4, but Fortunis also has 3, Kacaniklic has 3, Trindade Vilhena has 3 as well, so lots of players getting in there with some goals. Vilhena started amazingly for us this year. Assists, Mitroglou with 3, Kacaniklic with 3, Vilhena with 3. Those attacking players are combining for goals and assists a lot, and that's great to see. Yulsgaard has 2, so I'm surprised he's not leading that, but give him a bit more time. He's missed a game. Most player of the matches, Mitroglou with 2, always good. Pass rating, Draga 84, Bertoli, Ryan Tunnicliffe with 81. Now, this is one of the areas I worry about, because Mariga, if he was playing, which he obviously hasn't, because he's injured, I think he's just coming back from injury. I'm not sure if he's fit yet. He's taken a long time to be fit again, basically. He would probably have a higher pass rating, and maybe that could help us a little bit. Most yellows, Tunnicliffe for 3, no red cards, of course. Best player for us this year so far has been Kacaniklic with 7.42 rating, but Zuccolini's been fantastic. Mitroglou's been great, and as you can see, Ryan Tunnicliffe is our 4th best player. That says a lot about his abilities as well. He's not particularly good in terms of his stats. Like, actually, I'll tell you what, no. His actual star rating, this is a bit deceptive, because when you look at him, as a ball-winning midfielder, he's got some decent abilities. Only his technical attributes really let him down. His tackling's not even that bad. It's just his passing and marking that I could do with being slightly better. And in fact, he's a decent player. He's just very specific to that role, basically. That's the thing. A little bit like how Zuccolini is. If you actually look at the stats that Franco Zuccolini has, they are almost exclusively awesome for the role he's playing. And that's fine by me, to be honest. He is a wonderful player, and much, much better than the 3 stars there would suggest, for me, anyway. And that is about that for this episode. Now, in the next episode, we will be... Ooh, where will we be? We've got quite a few games in October. Well, actually, no, not too many. But we do have a Champions League game in October, and that's kind of key here. We've got Celtic away at Parkhead. And... Is it Park? Yeah, it's Celtic Park, Parkhead or whatever. But we do have Celtic away, and that's going to be... I'd like to think we can go there and win, but I don't know, it's Celtic. You've seen what they can do in Europe. But they have lost both their games so far. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'd like to think we can go there and win. But we'll just have to play it by ear. We do have some slightly easier fixtures, though, with Huddersfield, Swansea, Wolves, although we do have Chelsea as well. So we'll see how we can get on. I'd like to try and pick up wins in all 3 of those games, plus a win at Celtic. Chelsea, I just can't see us winning at Stamford Bridge, not with the form that Chelsea were in last season and have been this season too. So, if you liked what you've seen, hit that big old like button, and if you'd like to even more than that, hit that big old subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.